Hello and welcome to class number 62 of the UPSC Mains Answer Writing Initiative, a place where we're trying to simplify the UPSC Mains answer writing for all of you. As you know, in this class, we take up some of the most important topics that are in the news that have a probability of being converted into questions and answers in the UPSC Mains paper. We try and discuss that topic, try to write that answer to see how that answer would look like so that you can attempt these kind of questions in the examinations. At the end, I also give you homework. If you want, you can try your hand on your homework as well. As you all know, I have also been running a Mastering Mains Answer Writing one-on-one mentorship guidance program. A lot of you have already started this program. In fact, many people from the state PCS exams have also started this program. As you know, yesterday, the Telangana PCS results were announced for prelims. Many people are writing the mains exam. That also has allowed many students from Telangana to join the program. So even if you're interested in a PCS program and you want answer writing guidance one-on-one, please feel free to contact me on these details. You can also check out the other courses that I offer on my Android app. Download Harshmeet Study Circle from the Google Play Store. Also, if you're new here, please do this favor, subscribe to this channel and also like this video if you find it helpful. In the very first class of this series, I had discussed how to structure the answer. So if you are new here and you have no idea how to write an answer, how to begin, I would highly advise you to go to the description of this video and go to the link of the playlist. In that playlist, go to class number 1. In the very first class, you will find a discussion on how to write the introduction, the main body, the conclusion, where to add what, where to neglect what. With that out of the way, let's see what question are we taking up today. So today we have taken up a question from GS1. The question is, examine the obstacles presented by regionalist tendencies to the unity and effective governance of a nation, emphasizing the potential consequences for political stability and socio-economic progress. So the question is that within a country there are many regionalist tendencies. When you say regionalist tendencies, that means people giving preference to their region over a country. For example, people forcing that anyone who does not speak our language should not remain here. People demanding that our state should be given a status that is better than others. People demanding that our language or our culture should be given priority over the others, should be imposed over the others. All that is what you call as regionalist tendencies. Then there are, if it takes a very bad shape, it can even convert into demand for having a separate country altogether, separating from the country. All these are regionalist tendencies. When you give preference to your region as compared to putting your nation above everything else, that is called regionalist tendencies. So the question is, what are the obstacles presented by this? As you know, across the entire country, there are so many different areas where you see these kind of movements going on. For example, you have the movement of Gorkha land. You have an area in West Bengal where people have been demanding, for example, area around Darjeeling, that we want to have a separate state of our own, the Gorkha land. So these are some of the ideas that can be given as examples of regionalist tendencies. So what issues or what obstacles do they present to unity of the country? And then you have to focus on the consequences it has on political and socio-economic progress. Now, in these kind of questions, as I told you earlier, when the question is asking you about a problem, they are not asking you a solution specifically. So it depends upon you whether you want to include some points in solution or not. If you want, in the concluding argument, you can give a way forward. So whenever the question is asking about a problem, not a solution, you can go one step ahead. In the conclusion, write way forward means write a couple of suggestions that this is what we can do to ensure that these regionalist tendencies are curtailed. So something like this can be, it's optional. If you want, you can include it. If you don't, you can just stick to this question. So we'll start with the intro. Intro, as we have always been saying, has to be either a fact or a definition. So either something like this has been in the news recently. Let's say if the Gorkha land movement was in the news, if some other movement was in the news recently, then you could have quoted that in the introduction. That recently we have seen eruptions or disruption in this part of the country where people demand this and that. That can be a good intro. If you don't remember anything that has happened recently, then you can always go ahead with a definition. Define what exactly is regionalism. Characterized by prioritization of regional interest over national unity, and it is a challenge to cohesion and governance of a nation. Something like this can be the introduction. depending on how you want to begin. Then the main body, you have to write about the obstacles. So what obstacles does it present to the unity of the country? Political fragmentation. And again, in these kind of questions, the more real examples you give, the better and more effective your answer will be. As I've been giving you examples of Gorkhaland, the Vidarbha region challenge, where they have been demanding a separate region, separate statehood, that can lead to political fragmentation, because demand for making a new state is an endless demand in a country like India, where you have so many different cultures and languages that you cannot stop at one. Then resource allocation conflict. Which state will get how much money, water, assistance from the center, any tax benefit, any special package being introduced by the center. All of that also leads to issues between the two states. Let's take the issue of Kaveri water dispute between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. It's about the allocation of the Kaveri River, which has been so violent that it has even led to people giving away their life. Policy implementation becomes challenging. For example, when the government of India introduced the NEET exam, since then Tamil Nadu has been speaking against the NEET exam consistently. Tamil Nadu government has consistently been saying that the NEET examination is against the interest of students who have read in regional colleges or those students who have taken examination from the state board. So that can also be a challenge, how to implement nationwide policies such as NEET or national education policies. All that can be a challenge. The question also asks you, what are the consequences for political stability and socio-economic progress? First, it has a threat to political stability because of the use of violence, because of demand being made by many groups. For example, what we are seeing in Northeast India in the form of insurgency, how it has become violent over the last few decades, it can lead to a big issue. Socio-economic disparities also increase. A lot of people in some states would have this grudge against the center government that I am poor or my state is poor because the government is giving more preference or giving priority to some other state. That can lead to socio-economic disparities as well. Now, these are the things that the question specifically asked you. As I told you earlier, the question did not ask you for suggestions. If you want, you can give some suggestions how to curtail this problem, how to go ahead, how to actually ensure that this problem does not become very big. It depends entirely upon you. If you want, you can do that. In the concluding argument, in the conclusion, I have given just one line about this, that is addressing regional aspiration through balanced federalism and inclusive development is crucial for this. So I have addressed this, but just in one single line. If you think that you have more ideas that you could have written here in the way forward, you can do that. It depends entirely upon you. But even if you are not mentioning it point wise the way forward, you can at least mention it in one or two lines as I have done here in the concluding argument, and that would be good enough for you. Here is your homework. If you want, you can go ahead and try and write an answer to this as well. Analyze the importance and obstacles associated with India's neighborhood first policy in promoting collaboration among neighboring countries and navigating complex geopolitical relationship. Don't have an answer. If you want, you can write that and practice. If you want any other information about the courses that I am running, including the PSIR course, the essay booklet, and the main answer writing program, you can download my app here and you can contact me. Thank you so much for joining in. Bye bye. Have a good day ahead. Jai Hind.